My heart, wish me luck.
Can everyone just make sure they're muted as they enter from the waiting room? Thank you. Just gonna give it a second.
Well, it's a small house.
All right, let's get started. Good afternoon. This is a hearing before the Boston Cannabis Board, the BCB. Today is February 22nd, 2023. Today's hearing is being conducted pursuant to certain temporary amendments to the open meeting law. That is what allows us to meet virtually. This hearing is being recorded and will be posted to the City of Boston's website. Before I review some procedural matters, I will introduce Chairwoman Kathleen Joyce.
Thank you, Jasmine. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kathleen Joyce. I'm chair of the Boston Cannabis Board. Today, I am joined by Commissioner Lisa Holmes, Commissioner Darlene Lombos, and Commissioner John Smith. Before we begin, I just want to make an announcement that the licensing team in general lost an integral part of our team last Friday when our colleague and friend Peter Wong died. So I just want to remember Peter today because I think all of us have worked with him in one capacity or another, and take a moment to remember him as we continue the business of the city. So Jasmine, I'll turn it back over to you. Peter would hate that, but I had to acknowledge him right now.
Thank you, Chairwoman Joyce. My name is Jasmine Nguyen, and I am the Cannabis Board Manager. We are also joined by Allison Quinn, who is the Project Manager for the BCB. While the public is encouraged to attend, there will be no additional public testimony accepted. I will read each item into the record. After, I will ask for comments from each board member. I will then ask, is there a motion? Any questions to the motion? And then there will be a vote. Each member has the ability to grant with conditions, defer, reject without prejudice, which means the applicant can return anytime with an application at the same location, or reject with prejudice, which means the applicant cannot reapply at the same location for 1 year. Our first item, the applicant is JTJD LLC, Ember Gardens. The proposed license premise is 610 Chelsea Street, East Boston. The license type is a marijuana delivery operator license. The proposed hours of operation are 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week. And this is an equity applicant, and there was a buffer zone conflict. We will start with comments from the board members, beginning with Chairwoman Joyce.
Thanks, Jasmine. I have no issues with this application. I think it was a very strong application. I do feel as if they met the requirements to pierce the buffer zone, their equity, its delivery, and we don't have anything exactly like this in the general area.
Thank you. Commissioner Holmes?
I agree with the chairwoman. Strong application. It is delivery, so it's a different business than the other dispensary within the buffer zone. So I'm fine with it. I think they did a good job.
Thank you. Commissioner Smith?
Thank you, Jasmine. No issues. Thank you.
Commissioner Lombos?
Thank you, Jasmine. Yep, I agree with my fellow commissioners. Thanks.
Chairwoman Joyce, is there a motion?
Yes, I make a motion to grant this application.
Conditionally,
Oh, conditional upon
the zoning variance for the buffer zone.
yeah, zoning variance. I knew there was more to it. Thank you.
Is there a second? Commissioner Holmes, all in favor? Commissioner Lombos and Smith, I can't see you, so just say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, and none opposed. So granted conditionally pending zoning relief for the buffer zone. All right, the next item is the Copley Connection, DBA the Copley Connection. Proposed license premises 551 Wilson Street, Back Bay. The license type is a recreational cannabis dispensary license. The proposed hours of operation are 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. 7 days a week. This is a non-equity applicant, and there is a buffer zone conflict. Chairwoman Joyce.
Thanks, Jasmine. I'll jump in. I have thought a lot about this application. We already have 3 dispensaries in Back Bay, the larger Back Bay area, and I just want to talk about this for a minute. Copley Connection would make this the 4th shop. But Copley Connection actually only has 2 buffer zones, and I say only because I think they are distinct. One of the dispensaries that we have an HCA with in the Back Bay neighborhood, however, has already been denied by the ZBA. So in this direct buffer zone, there are only two locations that are technically in the south end. And these buffer zones span several neighborhoods. In my opinion, that is not in the spirit of what the buffer zone was put in place for. It's clear to me when I go out in our city, as I see businesses coming back, that Back Bay has come back and is recovering fast. And I believe Back Bay can support this application. I do want to acknowledge we did receive opposition, concerned about some of the reasons that I've just spoken about. This is a very strong application. There's a lot of support, and I think that support is enough to pierce the buffer zone. They've gone above and beyond to work with the community. They've agreed to not have pre-rolls as a condition of the license. They agreed not to do delivery. And I'm persuaded by the rapid economic recovery in this neighborhood and the significant residential and commercial density. I think all of these things together can sustain this license.
Thank you. Commissioner Holmes?
I agree with everything the chairperson said. My only, if you want to call it an issue, was their end time is significantly later than everybody else and all the other dispensaries in the Back Bay. Everybody else has at 8 p.m. and they want 11. So I would only think it would be fair that they would have to back their closing time up to meet the same of the others. Because it's kind of unfair that everybody else has a close at 8 and they go at 11. So we have to meet in the middle somewhere, even if we negotiate down to 9 for everybody. But I think the 11 p.m. closing has to scale back. But other than that, I think it was a great application.
Commissioner Smith?
Thanks, Jasmine. Yeah, very much echoing that, but thinking about the saturation issues and which will probably come up again in probably every neighborhood, considering these cannabis businesses and being co-located in all the different neighborhoods in the city, and how it especially impacts like the equity businesses. That being said, I think of course the application is good. So yeah, thank you.
Commissioner Ramos?
Yeah, I thought it was a very strong application. I know we're not experts on saturation, and we've talked about this before, but I do think it is a good application, and I do agree with Commissioner Holmes. I'm guessing, I know I like to make sure that we have unanimous decisions. So I am in agreement that if there isn't a possibility or an interest in the commissioner to have a shorter open time, that's fine with me as well.
Chairwoman Joyce, no motion.
I agree, and I appreciate working towards consensus. Commissioner Holmes, as far as closing time, the other shops in that area, I believe, had 8 p.m. closing.
Correct, yes.
Okay, just to clarify before you guys.
Yeah, well, I have a note here that other dispensaries have 8 p.m. closing, so this should be the same. So I must have looked it up somewhere, but right, we should look it up again just to make sure, but I think they should all be equal.
Okay, so the two within the buffer zone, which is Sierra Naturals, which is 827, 829 Boylston Street, has an 8 p.m. closing and a 6 p.m. closing on Sunday. The other one is Rooted In LLC, which is 331 Newberry Street. They have a 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. closing, and on Sunday they close at 8.
Okay.
So it's
Well, okay, so it's all over the place anyway. All right. Yeah. Okay, so I guess the 11 is all right then. If we got a 10 p.m., 11 is fine. I just thought that between 8 and 11 is a big disparity in time, but yeah. 10 and 11, no, it's okay then.
Okay. So if you're comfortable with that, Commissioner Holmes. Okay.
Yes, I am. Between 10 and yeah, I'm fine with that 1 hour.
Okay. Yep. So I make a motion to grant this application Conditional upon, we're gonna do no pre-rolls as a condition of the license. On the face of the license, and just for, I don't think we need to put no delivery on the face of the license, because if they do choose to do delivery, they do have to come back to us. So conditional upon zoning relief, granted conditional upon zoning relief,
And no pre-rolls.
and no pre-rolls.
Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And none opposed. So granted conditionally, pending buffer zone variance from the CBA and no pre-rolls. And the 11 PM closing is approved. All right.
We just won Wendy's.
All right, next we will move to old and new business. Allison is going to give an update on our market saturation project that we have been working on.
Hi, good afternoon. So you should have received in your packets for today's hearing the full memo, but I'm going to give you just a brief synopsis of where we are in process. So back in, I think it was November, you guys started this conversation about, what is market saturation and what is its impact on the local Boston cannabis industry. That has been, that resulted in us putting out a request for proposals. We originally had 4 applicants that were interested, and then when the WQC closed, we had 0 respondents. So we had to go back to the drawing board, and we have 1 person under contract now, and that person is checked in regularly, and we will have that report by the end of the month. So we should be able to review it prior to our next hearing.
Any questions from the board members? No. Commissioner Smith, Commissioner Wampus, any questions?
No, thank you, Jasmine.
So
No questions. Thank you.
Chairman Joyce,
Thank
you
you.
acknowledge.
We'll acknowledge we'll acknowledge the update, and we'll circulate the report as soon as we have it.
Right. Board acknowledges the market saturation. The following applicant was deferred from the BCB's November 16, 2022 voting meeting to give the BCB time to conduct a market saturation research project. The applicant is Vinyl Roots Inc., DBA Soul Cannabis. The proposed license premise is 340 North Market Street, Faneuil Hall. The license type is a retail recreational cannabis dispensary license. The proposed hours of operation are 9 a.m. to 11 p.m., 7 days a week. This is an equity applicant, and there is a buffer zone conflict. Chairman Joyce.
I make a motion to defer, since we don't have the saturation study yet.
Is there a second? Commissioner Holmes, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so this applicant is deferred until we receive the market saturation study. All right, so those are all the matters before the board today. Our next transactional hearing will take place March 15th, 2023 at 1 p.m. Hope everyone enjoys the rest of their day. Thank you.
Thank you.